Hard to believe it's been 7 long years, that day we lost so many of our heroes. I never got to meet Iron Bill Dowling, wish I had. He suffered so with his horrible injuries for nearly 4 years.
One time I think he screamed for 3 or 4 days. He did not sleep. He just screamed and screamed and screamed.
At his memorial service, Mayor Sylvester Turner said Iron Bill gave everything he got. Jackie Dowling wondered that day about something else too. How Sylvester Turner had the nerve to even be there.
This is my husband's memorial. We didn't want him there. No one there liked him. We know he's trying to screw everybody.
Crosses marked the spot of the fire a year later. On the fence surrounding this hallowed ground, a sign with Mayor Sylvester Turner's picture on it, telling voters to oppose equal pay for firefighters. Another insult. Voters did not listen. Prop B passed, but almost 2 years later, not a single penny in raises. And the mayor has spent close to $1 million in court, your money, to keep the firefighters from getting a raise. 2 of the firefighters who died that day worked at Station 51, the same place Jeff Lundquist worked as a captain. For 29 years, he answered the call. You can see in his eyes what the job means to him.
The guys, the job, the adrenaline rush, that you get from this job, it's unbeatable.
He's the kind of veteran firefighter you'd want on the front lines last week when a warehouse near West Park blew up, a shelter in place for the neighborhood. But Jeff Lundquist, he retired in April. He left before he planned to leave. One of more than 400 Houston firefighters who have fled this mayor's leadership.
We are hemorrhaging Houston firefighters.
We are hemorrhaging firefighters, the union says. And it's not COVID to blame, it's Sylvester Turner. One politician ruined it for you.
Correct. And he's never pulled that hose at 2 in the morning. He's never made that gunshot wound or that CPR or all those calls and helped those people, and those firemen help them. They don't ask for anything, and they go back to the station.
Veteran Houston firefighters haven't had a pay raise in 9 long years. With increases in health care and their pension, they actually make less money today than they did on that day of the deadly fire. Think about that. At Station 38 in Spring Branch, Captain Lundquist was helping train new firefighters, just to see them leave.
They can't keep the people in there. The attrition rate is ridiculous. It's all-time high.
Look, I know your family doesn't care who said what to whom and who started this. All you really care is that when your family needs help, those fire folks, they come running. And they do, regardless of the way they're being treated. But look, there are heroes. Mayor, this is a matter of public safety. Your treatment of the firefighters has to stop. And now Houston City Hall is clearly trying to play games to keep you from knowing just how bad it is. First, it was shutting down fire stations, but the PR on that was bad. So now the mayor plays a different kind of game. Almost every day, the firefighters union busts the mayor. Brownouts at stations. They don't close them down. Here's what they do. They take a piece of equipment out of service for hours at a time. I call it a dangerous game of whack-a-mole. What does the mayor say? There's nothing to see here, folks, but listen closely. Is he playing word games?
And I would appreciate if the media would not continue to even allow anybody to put forth misinformation. No services to the fire departments have been cut. No stations closed. Everybody is facing staffing shortages because of this virus. I don't know how many times we have to say that.
Breaking news about a school fire in West Houston.
We have been covering the details on this one all morning. It happened at the St. Francis Episcopal School on South Piney Point Road.
On July 4th, fire broke out at the St. Francis Episcopal School on Piney Point. Ladder 28 was closed, but was out of service.
Product quickly caught fire and destroyed the ladder truck. The crew was not hurt.
That same truck burned up days later at the West Park fire. The mayor is hiding something that's very important to your safety when it comes to the fire department. You know, it's taking longer for their fire trucks to get to your house, even with less traffic because of all that COVID stuff. We've learned response times at 24 fire stations are actually a minute slower this July than they were last July. And the scariest number comes from a fire station on the east side, almost 3 minutes slower. Betcha City Council hasn't been told that.
And no person, no union person or anybody else should take advantage of this virus for their own political agenda.
Neither should you, Mayor, but put yourself in a firefighter's uniform. In the last few weeks, 2 firefighters have died from the coronavirus, the casualties of being first responders. Jeff Lundquist has now grudgingly hung up his boots. He suspects the mayor likes to keep the firefighters tied up in court.
This has been a game the whole way through, and if this administration is stalling, and I believe, my personal opinion, if he can stall and get out of office, he's going to take it as a victory.
You don't get rich as a firefighter, but you do risk your life for the rest of us. And Jeff Lundquist knows what it takes.
You could back a pickup truck in that station, throw some plastic buckets in it, that bell goes off, them kids are off.
So why waste another dollar on lawyers, Mayor? Why not honor the voters? We shouldn't be losing guys like Jeff Lundquist.
So one thing a fireman needs is stability. You won't get rich being a fireman, but you need to have some stability, and there is none in HFD at this point.